It didn't start with touch. It started with his gaze. It lingered just a moment too long, as if he already knew how I felt on the inside. He asked something simple, but it was the way he listened that made me want to undress. Not my body, but everything else. I revealed my inner world slowly, as if offering something fragile. And he received it, not with fear, but with hunger. Not just for me, for the truth inside me. The silence between us grew thick, charged, safe. I felt something shift. When he touched me for the first time, it wasn't to take. It was to stay. Fingertips against my back, like he was reading me through my skin. A hand on my hip, grounding us in the now. Nothing forced, no performance. I inhaled his presence deeply, slowly, like each breath confirmed what I already knew. I wanted this. Not just his body, all of him. Every scar, every ache. When our bodies finally met, it wasn't just heat. It was an answer, a recognition of everything we had already shared. I let him feel me, not only where the skin is thinnest, but in the places I usually hide. He didn't whisper words. He showed them. With his mouth, his hands, his stillness. I was naked, and not for a second did I want to hide. It wasn't something I gave away. It was something we created, together, in every movement, every gasp, every wave that passed between us. It wasn't just desire. It was closeness that dared to stay. And I knew we never just had sex. We met, for real. And it still echoes in me. When he came closer, I felt it first in my stomach. Longing, permission. He let me be quiet. Let me receive him without filling the space with noise. His hands were slow, curious, as if he wanted to learn me all over again each time he touched me. Fingertips along the inside of my thigh, breath against my neck. No rush, just presence. My body knew before I did. It was safe here. I didn't have to hold back. Nothing needed to be hidden or softened. His mouth found my skin with the same tenderness he'd heard my words, as if he was tasting every truth I'd once carried alone. I wasn't just exposed, I was seen, and that made me wetter than any craving ever had. He stayed there, long, not to tease, not to control, but to honor. Taking my breath away wasn't something he demanded, it was something he earned. Every moan he pulled from me was real, nothing in me pretended anymore. And when I let him inside me, his eyes held mine. Not to dominate, to stay, all the way, deeper than anyone had ever been, further than I thought possible. I arched my back, not for his pleasure, but because that's where I felt him the most, where our rhythms merged, where he held me from the inside. He moved within me like he was searching for something he already knew was there, something sacred, something forbidden, something true, and I gave him everything, not because he took it, because I chose to, because I wanted to watch him lose control the same way I did, wild, raw, beautiful. When we came, it wasn't an ending. It was a moment when everything went quiet, where nothing hid us anymore, where body, soul, and desire melted into one. We stayed there for a long time, not because we were tired, but because we didn't want it to end, because the depth we had sunk into no longer scared us. We were naked, all the way, and we didn't want to hide again.
This wasn't just something I wrote. It's something I lived, something I felt in the marrow of who I am. Every word came from the deepest part of me, not from a place of performance, but from truth. This is what it means to be seen, to be held without fear, to give without losing yourself. It came from my body, yes, but more than that, it came from my heart and my soul.